remembering the blues.
The streets of Detroit are musical. It's not like they sing anything that pleases, though. They sing gangster rap and Grand Ole Opry, Negro blues and white boy pop. They sing soul, rock, and R&B. And if you're in the right place, they might even do a show tune. But when played together, it all sounds like shit. Played all together, it's just gray and soupy, like Detroit streets in early January. The grime on the streets turns to snow gray, and the car's pulpit into runny shit. And it gets everywhere, don't make no mistake about that. In your shoes, all over your pants cuffs, even on your scarf. Even in your soul. Oh, yes it will. It did mine before I died, and that's God's truth. Everybody dies, you know. It's just sometimes somebody's watching, and then maybe you get another chance. I did. But I had to go to hell and back before anybody made up their mind on it. I had to walk to Turkey. Don't really know how. And the mumbo-jumbo men bound me up in gauze and muslin and carved my flesh deep. I got scars all over. Most of them from Marcus, but the deep ones, the only ones that mean anything, are from the mumbo-jumbo men. Other folks like me, the Reborn, can have themselves babies. They tell me that sex is even better now they're truly alive. I ain't truly alive, and I can't have no babies. I'm all carved up down there. Had another Reborn make a joke about that once. I broke his nose before he even got through laughing. Marcus did that to me once, when I laughed at him. But I'm not thinking about Marcus now. I'm thinking about Detroit. I lived here all my life, so that's why they sent me back. See, eternal life ain't no vacation. No, you gotta earn your keep, and you earn it by fighting back the devil. They can call him Apophis or whatever, but I know what I saw last night, and the night before, and maybe I best start with a plane landing. I got here ahead of the others, and they sent me on ahead because I know Detroit. I was just supposed to scout and see what I could find, and see if I could find out what the devil was doing here. They didn't tell me how to do that. They said I could figure it out. Nobody ever gave me nothing to figure out before, even in school. They just said, "You're too dumb to know it." They passed me anyway though, so maybe I ain't so dumb. But I sat there at the airport not knowing where to go at first, with everybody staring at the bald black lady. I wanted to scream at them. I really did. Because what the hell do they know about this shit? But I kept quiet. I was waiting for something. I used to wait for Marcus. It was the same then, except I'd sing blues. Mama used to sing blues, and I remember every word, even though I ain't never seen these songs on paper before. Only since I died, I can't remember no music. The songs ain't even in my head. So I just sat there at the airport and waited until something finally happened. I wasn't sure if it was Apophis, but it was something. So I followed just the same. I saw a man stare at me a little too long, see. He didn't look at my head or my scarred arms. He just looked at me. Maybe that's hard to understand if you ain't a woman. A man can look at you like he wants to eat you up without ever looking at your face or your chest. This guy looked like that, like he wanted something out of me. So I looked back like I'd been taught, and I saw that he was wrong somehow. Maybe he beat up on a lady or raped one. I didn't know, but I decided to follow him. I get lost in crowds when I put my hat on. You'd never know I was there. He didn't act like he did. I followed him through the airport and out into the parking lot. He drove a little foreign-made sports car. He looked like he might be Arab or Spanish or Turkish, like the mumbo-jumbo men were. He pushed a button that made his alarm show. Then he opened up the trunk. Turns out he did see me though. He knew I was there, and he knew I was there for him. I didn't know enough, see. The thing that jumped out of his car was like a man, only had teeth too big for any man, and big, bulging frog eyes. It jumped out at me and ran towards me, and I was about to scream, but then I felt the dark in me again. They let out most of the dark when they covered me up in Turkey, but they left enough so I could defend myself. I couldn't carry no weapons on the plane, but I learned some stuff in Turkey. The thing ran between cars to get to me, and right when it was in between two big SUVs, I pointed and said the magic words. The glass windows shattered and showered all over the thing. It wasn't hurt, just cut up a little, but it stopped and covered itself. I did that once when Marcus broke a window to get to me. I should have. I did this time. I ran up to the thing and punched it with both fists. I beat on his face and his teeth cut into my fingers, they did, and I didn't feel no hurt. I grabbed it by the sides of the head and opened the door of one of them SUVs and slammed his head again and again till it stopped twitching. See, I ain't waiting for no man to beat up on me again. No reason in the world they wait for that. I turned back to see the sports car man, but he was long gone, already to the gate. I knew there'd be people coming soon, so I had to leave. But at least I seen him. That was 3 nights ago. I went into my old neighborhood, my scarf on my face and my hat covering my bald head. It was cold, but not bitter. Cold enough to sleep. It stopped early that morning. I was sleeping in an motel that Marcus told me about. I heard people having sex as I fell asleep, and decided that I really don't miss it. I woke up that morning and started talking to ghosts. It ain't hard, really. First you gotta see them, and that can be hard. But in Detroit, it was like they were all waiting for the phone to ring. I talked to 6 different ghosts that morning. 2 of them died in that very motel. One was a lady who died like me, only she didn't get a chance to come back. I didn't tell her how I died. I thought it'd make her sad. I told them what the man looked like, and that I needed to find him. They all had things they wanted done, so I said I'd do what they wanted, if it didn't cost no money and didn't take me more than an hour out of my way. But I did everything they asked me to do. Then, as the sun started to go down and turn the sky dry blood brown, they started looking for the sports car man, and I went back to waiting. This was the 2nd night I've been back in Detroit. I was just as much a ghost as the spirits I've been helping out, only worse. 'Cause I could walk up and hug my mama and my auntie if I wanted to. But they knew I was dead, and even if they didn't, it wouldn't do nobody any good to see me like this. All bald and scary, I mean. So I just waited in the motel and looked out the grimy window with the diner I worked at when I was 20. Windows were still greasy there. Probably still had roaches in the salad and shit. Owen didn't care. He only hired folks who were out on parole, so he could take most of their money, and they couldn't complain. Else he called their parole officer and said they came in drunk. Or folks like me. Like I was, weak. One of the ghosts, a dead boy who'd been in the gang and got himself shot, came through the wall and said he found sports car man. I followed him down the block, but not far away at all. The car was sitting there in a pawn shop parking lot with some funny brown stains on the bumper, like a Detroit sunset. I had a knife now. I found it in the motel room. It was rusty and weak, but it would do. I waited outside the pawn shop for the man to come out. I kept repeating this old mumbo-jumbo phrase. I know where it came from, but it means unbalance the scales and be devoured. I just said it over and over, 'cause I can't sing no more. Pretty soon, the man came out and I jumped him. He moved out the way like a startled cat, then smiled at me like he didn't care I was trying to stab him. I tried again, but he moved and laughed. Now I was angry, but I can't call down storms or nothing. I had jumped at him, but now I dug low and stabbed him in the leg. He hit me on the side of the mouth. Didn't hurt. The guy didn't even know how to hit me. I shoved him down and raised that knife up. He pulled out a gun, but I was ready for that. I said my magic words again, and the gun fell apart. That's when I heard the chirp chirp the car alarm, and I knew he'd fake me out after all. The thing I killed the night before hit me from the side, stronger than before. It wasn't like a man so much no more. It was spotty like a frog all over, and its teeth cut through its lips. It bit down at me and got a mouthful of scarf. I stabbed it in the throat. It started making this awful gasping sound and swiped at me, but I didn't have no strength now. I stabbed it over and over again, each time saying, "Stay dead now, stay dead now." The sports car man drove off before the frog thing died, and I had to run again. I had to wait another day to look for him. I knew what the frog thing was, at least. I figured it out as I ran away from the shop with the owner screaming behind the counter. The mumbo-jumbo men told me about things like that. They called him Asex Sin, but I just called him 5 times. The mumbo-jumbo man said you had to kill him 5 times before they die true. I'd only killed this one twice. I spent the next day watching the pawn shop. I knew what the frog thing was, but not sports car man. He had to be something that knew the devil, because only things that knew the devil knew about the 5 times. But what then? Something like me? Only gone wrong? I thought the judges of my art put you down if you went wrong. I didn't know, but I figured it out. I'm really smarter than anybody knew. I can't wait to see the others and tell them how I figured it out. I spent that day at the pawn shop, like I said. I waited for the police to leave, then I walked into the shop and locked the door behind me. The owner pulled a gun out, but he looked so scared I knew I didn't need to use the magic words. I told him if he put down the gun, I wouldn't hurt him. He did. Then I told him he had to help me, else I'd burn his shop down. I wouldn't really do that, but I can't ask nobody anything nice, or they don't believe me. I asked him what he sold the sports car man. The owner said he sold him a funny clay jar with a lid like a bird. Said he'd just gotten it the other day and didn't think it'd ever sell. I know about jars like that. I saw him in Turkey. But if the sports car man bought it here, he knew the jar was here. He knew the jar was here. It wasn't like the store would have that kind of thing any old day. So I asked the owner who sold him the jar to start with. He told me what the man who sold it to him looked like. When he told me, I almost reached out and hit him. Not because I thought he was lying, but because I believed him. That made it worse. I didn't hit him, though. I just ran out the store, because I knew where to go now. I just didn't know if I could really go there, because the man he described was Marcus's brother. Marcus's brother was named Peter, but he went by Raheem most of the time. I don't know why. I thought Peter was a good name. Anyway, Marcus beat on me and went with whores, but Peter was the bad one. At least Marcus worked at a factory and didn't do drugs. Peter sold drugs and guns, and he fenced stuff, so it didn't surprise me any that he'd taken the jar to the pawn shop. Probably got paid in advance to leave it there, and then sports car man picked it up. But now I could either search for sports car man, or I could go find Peter and ask him what he knew. And that meant he'd see I weren't dead. I've been meaning to find Marcus ever since the mumbo-jumbo man cut the dark out of me and my mind stopped boiling over. But what I was doing here was more important. Or maybe I was just scared. I don't know. Anyway, I went to my old apartment and I listened at the door that night. The 3rd night I'd been back. I heard music and people talking. I couldn't just go in and raise hell. I didn't know who all was in there, so I sat on the staircase near the door to the apartment and waited for Peter. While I waited, I rubbed some paste I made into my hands to make me stronger. I didn't have to wait long. Peter came out with a woman. I didn't hear her name. She had a tattoo on her arm and bruises around her eyes. I wondered where they came from. Didn't ask though. When they walked into the staircase, I came up and blew some powder in her face and she passed right out. Peter pulled out a gun then, but I was strong from the pace and squeezed his wrist till I heard bones crack. He cried out, "Call me a bitch," but I clapped a hand over his mouth and asked him about the jar. He took a long time telling me about sports car man, especially since he didn't know that much. I had to hurt him a little bit, but I don't think he would have told me otherwise. He finally told me that the guy he buys stuff from sometimes gave him the jar a few days ago. Then he said he got a phone call from a guy who talked funny, and the man told him to sell it at the pawn shop. After he did, Peter found a lot of money waiting for him at home. He never saw a sports car man, but he'd looked in the jar once. He said there wasn't nothing there but a lump of something wrapped up in gauze. Peter done no shit about the power of the heart, but I do. I didn't tell him though. When he didn't have no more to tell me, I threw him down the stairs. I don't think the judges would care since he beats up on women and sells drugs. Well, I hope they don't care. I took Peter's gun with me and went back down the hall to the apartment. I thought about kicking in the door and shooting Marcus, but I decided the judges would probably get angry if I shot him just 'cause I was mad. I knew I couldn't stay there without getting real angry, and maybe doing something to Marcus though. So I left the dingy place, my mind focusing in on hearts. The mumbo jumbo man called the heart ab, and said it was where thought came from. I always thought the brain was where thought came from, but they said it was the ab, and when you die and go before the judges, it's the ab that gets weighed against the feather to see if you get eaten or not. Somebody's heart is in that jar, and now the sports car man has it, I was thinking as I walked down Queen Street away from my old apartment building. And he's not gonna give it a good burial. He's gonna call up the person and use it. That made the darkness in me real mad. So I had to duck into an alley just so I wouldn't see no people for a few minutes. When I came out, I was thinking about where the jar might have come from. Peter said he got it from somebody he buys stuff from, but Peter buys stuff from a lot of people. The funny talking guy on the phone was probably a sports car man. I was starting to figure all this out. I decided to go to the club and find Sheena and see if she knew who Peter was buying from. See, I wish I was smart. I wish I hadn't got so mad and had to stop for a while. I wish I'd gone to see Sheena sooner. I might have been able to save her life. The club looked the same. Dark, dirty, lots of people stumbling around drunk or high. Whores come in and get warm and pick up Johns. Same as when I was here last. Sheena wasn't a whore. She served drinks. She used to want to dance, but she always got stage fright and didn't. She was from Akron and always said she'd take me to visit her family sometime. I looked for her in the club, but I couldn't find her. I asked around, and someone said she'd gone outside for a smoke. Sheena didn't smoke. I found her out by the dumpster behind the club. The 5 times was still there, chewing on her neck. Didn't even look a bit human now. Its eyes were almost the size of its whole face, and it had big, webbed hands. I shot it 3 times with Peter's gun before it saw me. Then I shot it twice more. I knew it weren't really dead, but I couldn't kill it for real yet. I didn't have time. Instead, I took Sheena's ring and a necklace with a picture of her baby and ran away. Better I call her spirit up than sports car man. I had a rest the next day. I'd used up most of my magic, and I didn't have no more powder or paste. In Turkey, I could just sleep for a while and feel better again. But the mumbo jumbo man told me about the web of faith and how you get weaker when you're outside it. So I rested, then called Sheena up when I felt stronger. We cried together about what happened to her, but she didn't ask me to do nothing. She just told me what I needed to know about the guy who sold the weird jar to Peter. As the sun set again, we went to find him. I was thinking about how I'd get him to talk, since I couldn't make myself strong and my gun didn't have no bullets. But it didn't matter, because the 5 times was already there. I'd killed this thing 3 times already, so when I kicked in the door, it was plenty pissed off. The guy I came to see was alive, but hunched over in the corner with a great big bite in his arm and screaming like a burning cat. The 5 times looked even worse tonight. He was hunched over, and his feet burst out from his shoes. And my God, the smell of it! It jumped at me and knocked me over, and I pushed up on his throat to keep his teeth away. It was stronger than me though, so I had to be smarter than it was. I let it bite down, but I moved my head and it just bit my coat open. I fumbled around for my knife, but while I did, it bit me in the shoulder. All of a sudden, I remembered some blues. Oh dear God, I remembered how to sing. I remembered how old Marcus would beat me. All I would hear was blues in my head. And then the dark in me woke up, and I didn't hear no more blues. I found my knife and dug it under that 5 times ribs and pulled up like I was trying to unzip the thing's body. The smell got worse, and it started screaming right along with the guy in the corner. I pushed it off me and watched it die, again. And I told it that tomorrow night I'd kill it for good. And then I went over to the guy in the corner and asked him what he knew. He told me. I think he was too scared not to tell me, but I sat there crouched over him with a knife in my hand till he finished. He told me he got the jar off a scared looking Arab guy. He said he hit the guy over the head and took his money in the jar thing. Then he took it to Peter to see if he could sell it. He said he was sorry, and he wasn't gonna steal no more cause the devil tried to come for him. I left him there and told him he'd better get to a doctor and have his hand looked at. What I didn't tell him was that the 5 times were gonna get up again. I don't think he'd believe me anyway. But I did tell him he better not steal no more if he didn't want the devil coming back. I talked it out with Sheena the next day. I figured the sports car man was looking for the jar and that the scared Arab had it. Maybe the Arab stole it, or maybe it belonged to him. But the sports car man wanted it for something. But then the scared Arab lost the jar when he was mugged, and Peter got a hold of it. About the same time the sports car man arrived in town. Peter sold it to the pawn shop, and sports car man paid him off to keep him quiet, and then said the 5 times to kill anybody who knew anything about the jar. The pawn shop guy probably would have been dead if I hadn't got there. Sheena was dead. The thief guy was dead. That just left Peter, and I knew what Peter was. He was staying with Marcus, the man who killed me. I couldn't remember no blues while I ran back over to the apartment. I was trying to think of some because I was thinking about Marcus and trying to figure out why I should save him. He killed me. If I let the sports car man the 5 times kill him, wouldn't that be balanced? I didn't know, and I couldn't just call up the judges and ask them. I couldn't call the mumbo jumbo man or the other Reborn who were flying in tonight either. I had to figure it all out by myself, and I didn't even know how or where to start. The sun was setting again. I had to sleep during the day because I couldn't mix no potions to keep me awake. I got there and the sports car was out front. I broke the window and the alarm went off, but nobody cares about alarms around here. I opened the trunk but nothing, just a puddle of blood and slime. That 5 times must really look sick now. So I'm on the staircase again. I see the crack in the wall where Peter hit it the other night. I run up the stairs like I want to save a life, and the door's already kicked in. There's big slimy footprints in the hallway and in the apartment. I pull out my knife and wait for it to jump at me, but it doesn't. Holy shit, Marcus's voice. I didn't hear him come up behind me. I turn around and he's staring at me like I'm a Martian or something. I guess that's okay, since he did see me die and all. And now I'm here in his apartment. Scars on my face and hands carrying a bloody knife. I pulled off my hat so we could see I'm bald too. He don't say anything. I know sports car man is here somewhere. Probably 5 times too. I know about Peter though, cause I may have killed him the other night. I'm not sure why I'm here. To hurt Marcus? To kill him? To kill the sports car man? I don't know. I take a step towards Marcus and try to remember some blues. Any at all. But I can't. That makes me so angry, so I put the knife up under his throat and say, "Sing something for me." He doesn't know what I mean. He starts to wet himself. I say it again, but this time I poke his throat a little with the knife. I listen behind me for the 5 times, or the sports car man, but I don't hear nothing. Go to sleep, you little baby, he sings. It's a lullaby I used to sing curled up on the floor when he'd hit me. Yeah, I said, like he's kissing on me. Everybody's gone in the cotton and corn. He's missed some words, but I don't care. I'm swaying a bit now. I can almost remember. He keeps singing, and I'm trying so hard to listen behind me, because I don't really know how to come back if my body dies, since I've never done that before. But it's hard to listen good, because I'm loving this so much. You and me and the devil makes 3, I sing with him. I can remember this song. That's the last verse. I close my eyes for a second, and he slaps the knife away. And of course, the 5 times springs right then. I see it come out of nowhere, and sports car man standing there too. I guess he must have made them both disappear somehow. But the 5 times jumps on me, and Marcus goes to run, but then stops like he's rooted to the floor. The 5 times picks me up and throws me against the wall, and I can see the sports car man has his eyes locked on Marcus and is walking across the room toward him. I want to stop him, but 5 times is in my way. 5 times don't look nothing like a man no more. It's all frog except 2 legs, no clothes, and shiny skin. It jumps and I grab it around the waist, but it's too slimy. It jumps away again. Sports car man is 5 steps away from Marcus. Marcus still ain't moving. 5 times jumps at me, but I duck and shove 2 fists into his gut. It makes a noise like a belch, but it ain't really hurt. 4 steps. I don't grab this time. I shove the 5 times and it falls over. I stomp on his back and hear something break. 3 steps. I grab a chair and break it over the 5 times head. I say, "Last time" to it, but I don't think it knows what I mean. Then I shove the broken chair leg into his side and hear a lung pop like a watermelon. 2 steps. 5 times slumps over dead, but I don't worry about that. I take the other half of the chair and throw it at sports car man. He turns around 1 step from Marcus. Marcus falls over and starts shaking. I know why Marcus couldn't move now. Sports car man's got eyes like a snake, black and deep. They freeze me as he looks at me, and he smiles with snake teeth. I remember something the mumbo jumbo man said about setting his followers, but I don't recall it clearly. Sports car man walks towards me, and I don't have no weapons or magic to use. I ball up my fist cause I'm gonna hit him, but it's gonna be hard with those eyes freezing me. He gets up close to me, and I see he's got the jar in his suit pocket. It's in the pocket near his heart. His heart. He reaches out for me, and I play like I'm gonna let him grab me. Then I reach back and punch the jar as hard as I can. It breaks, and he screams and falls over backwards like he's terrified. I grab the only thing within reach, the broken chair leg I stabbed the 5 times with, and I stab right where that pocket is. Sports car man stops screaming and goes stiff like he's frozen or something. Marcus is still on the ground, shaking. I looked in the sports car man's suit, and the chair leg is poking right through the fabric into his pocket. See, with the chair leg there, his heart is stopped, and now he can't think no more. I ain't so dumb. I walk over to Marcus and help him up. He ain't whimpering now, but I don't have my knife, so he don't seem sure what to do. I decide not to hurt him. "You killed me," I say. I don't know how else to put it. He just nods. "I could kill you back, you know." He nods again. "But I ain't going to, cause 2 wrongs don't make no right. Now go away, and you sing for me, cause I can't sing for myself no more." He runs away. He don't have to come back here. He could go to his brother up in Flint. Me, I don't care if I never see him again. I don't care about him at all no more. I close the door and sit down and wait. I move sports car man out the way of the window, cause I don't know what'll happen if he's there when the sun comes up. I dig in my pocket and find the number for the hotel where the other Reborn were gonna wait for me. I call them up, and they say they'll be here soon. So I wait again. And I don't sing, cause I can't remember no words or no music. But it really is okay. I don't care about the blues no more either.